Yeah.
I know a lot of dads were probably out at the beach today, but those storms, they popped up and probably washed them out of there.
Yeah. At 6 o'clock, we were saying, oh, those storms are moving closer to the coast, and that they did, and they were fast moving.
Yes.
But in that short period of time, they brought a lot of rain, winds, and yes, we even managed to get a tornado report. So let's get to it. A lot of people are saying, what was it? Was it a water spout? Was it a tornado? We have reports of both. So let's go over this first. There's two different types of water spouts. There's fair weather water spouts, which are generally not associated with thunderstorms. And then there are tornadic water spouts, and that's very close to what we had for today. Now, I say close to because we're still determining whether this started out as a water spout and moved onshore, or if it was a brief tornado and then it moved into the water as a water spout. But either way you slice it, water spouts form a little bit differently than tornadoes, but you can think of it as a tornado's cousin, if you will. So we have convergence that creates rotation. The difference is a tornado comes from a towering cloud up the top. You get that formation at the base of the cloud, right? Water spouts and land spouts, we went over land spouts not too long ago, that forms at the ground, at the surface. You start to get that rotation, and it actually forms from the bottom up. It develops, yeah, you have the land breeze, the sea breeze, that's where the winds are starting to converge. Same thing can happen over land, and that's when it turns into a land spout. That rising air causes a rotating column, and that's where you get that tornadic view where things are rotating. And yes, at first we saw pictures that were what looked to be a funnel cloud, and a funnel cloud is a tornado that's not touching the ground. So you can see why it's so important for viewers like you to send in your images, because I'll be honest with you, the Ruskin radar site is pretty far away from Citrus County and Crystal River, where this water spout, tornado, funnel cloud, where all these reports were coming in at, and it was so brief that honestly radar doesn't pick up on these things very well. So that's why it's so important that we receive photos. So again, anybody that missed it at the beginning of the show, we had two reports, a report of a funnel cloud, and then later on we had a report of a tornado. And then we got pictures of a water spout, all in the same area. This is all from the same storm system. Let's pop up our radar right now because I want to show you how things are looking currently. All the storms that we saw earlier today are now moving off to the Gulf. Yes, they did cause a little bit of an issue from 6 to 7 o'clock, but they quickly moved offshore, and for the rest of tonight, we will be quiet. I don't want anybody to worry. Let's take it over to the weather wall so we can break down the radar a little bit more. Again, everything that we have seen earlier today has now moved off into the Gulf, still producing lightning. So if anybody is on a late night boat ride, I'm sure they're on shore by now, because these storms have been moving offshore for quite some time now, and I doubt anybody's in the water. And if they are, I hope they're professional. All right, and then moving down into Hillsborough and Pinellas County, again, we also had a strong wind gust recorded at the airport in Pinellas County. But Futurecast shows quiet conditions over the next several hours, and really in the next few days, Monday and Tuesday, will be on the drier side. Compared to today, our chances are very, very slim for rain or even severe weather. And again, today's severe weather was so brief that the radar just cannot pick up on systems like that. I looked myself on velocity radar, and you couldn't even see a couplet from that very brief spin up. All right, tropical outlook. This is very important. We could soon get our first named storm, Alberto. That could form in the next day or so. We have bumped up the odds to the development to 70% over the next several days, but 50% within the next 48 hours. Now, that is not going to impact us, that storm system that's in the Gulf right now. This system that's trying to form in the Atlantic, that could bring us some more consistent rain midweek towards the end of the week, but does not look to be a wind event. If anything, it's going to bring some rain to our northernmost counties that missed out on it earlier this week. Let's get a little look at the 7-day forecast here. Again, temperatures will remain pretty consistent. Pretty dry for the next 2 days, but we are looking for that opportunity for rain towards the end of the week, thanks to that system that's trying to form in the Atlantic right now.